Hi, this is Andrew November, disability attorney, and you're watching Andrew's Answers. Today we're going to talk about the taxability of disability benefits, specifically long-term and short-term disability benefits. If you've watched any of my other videos, I'm very cautious with the information I give because, as I've said many times before, long-term disability, short-term disability, they're creatures of the contract or the policy or plan. Common words that we hear: contract, policy, plan. Here, however, we see some more general considerations, and the consideration is how did you pay the premiums for your LTD or your short-term disability insurance? So if it's a group disability insurance policy, meaning you got it from work, the chances are is that it was taken directly out of your paycheck using pre-tax dollars, meaning when you look at your stub and you see all those taxes and deductions come out, maybe you see Social Security, you definitely see Medicare, maybe you see dental, vision. Well, look for a line that discusses short-term or long-term disability premiums. What you're seeing is that your employer is taking out a deduction from your check and it's not been taxed yet. So you take your gross salary or your gross hourly rate, they subtract from that pre-tax amount the premium for your disability insurance, and that's how you become insured. So if that was the case, then the money you get will be taxable, and that is why you need to connect with a tax consultant, whether it's an accountant or a tax lawyer, but probably not the latter. It's probably not going to need a lawyer in most of these circumstances. It's just to determine what your tax liability is. Some people buy long-term and short-term disability with after-tax money. So who are these people? These might be people like me who have just bought it from the open market, who knew somebody that suggested you should have disability insurance, and you get connected with an agent, you get a policy, and you get a monthly premium, quarterly premium, or even a yearly premium. Like me and like many others, we pay that with after-tax dollars, which means we just write a check with the money that we earned from work. So if I do become disabled and I do receive short-term and long-term, it's not going to be taxable because I already paid tax on the premiums. That can happen in employment too. It's rare, but I do see it. You might work for a company and HR might send around an email, or there might be a flyer in the break room that says, do you want disability coverage? If you can, call this number. We've negotiated some rates. If you pay for that with after-tax dollars, the same rules apply. Again, I'm still cautious with my information here because there's always exceptions to every rule. But generally, the rule of thumb is pre-tax dollar means you're paying taxes on the back end. Post-tax dollars, you're not paying taxes. If you have questions about whether you owe taxes on your disability, give me a call. I might not be able to fully answer the question, but I assure you I can send you in the right direction. Thank you so much for watching Andrew's Answers.